Hey everybody, it is your girl here, Genuinely Divine, coming at you today with a video all about the Geminis. Geminis, Jim and I. Geminis. Yes, Geminis, how are you guys doing today? I'm really excited to be doing this video, you guys. As you can see, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling fine. Yeah, so Geminis. Okay, guys, these people are represented by the twins. Are you identical or are you fraternal? That's the question, and we're gonna figure that out in this video on today. Gemini's ruling planet is Mercury. Mercury, fast moving planet, very youthful planet, very intelligent planet. So most Geminis are very intelligent people. You know, Geminis are mutable. Like their element is mutable. They're the type of people, they adapt to their surroundings. You know, sometimes Geminis are known to be like two-faced sometimes, not intentionally, but sometimes they just like they can receive a lot of information from a person, and then sometimes they go and they're in another environment, another setting with the person that they shouldn't be telling this information to, and then sometimes they may spew out this information. They're very sociable. They're an air sign. Their element is air. I'm sorry, you guys. And they are mutable. I'm so sorry. I said the element was mutable. But the element is air for Geminis. They are air signs. Gemini, Aquarius, and Libras, they all have this in common. They're very sociable, but they kind of like go about being sociable a little bit different than the other, but they're they're highly communicative. Gemini rules the third house. The third house is the house of communications, the house of short distance travel, your siblings. In this house, you can see like if a person is going to have a younger or an older sibling or something like that, you know, a lot of different things that you can see from this third house. A lot of Geminis are like in public relations. They're like some type of people who do a lot of writing, and this is all for Gemini Sun, Moon, as well as rising people. And if you don't know your rising or your moon sign, if you would click on the about section on my channel, you will see a birth chart link. That link, you will need your time of birth as well as your city and state that you were born in to access that information, where you'll be able to actually get your whole astrological chart. A lot of people only know their sun sign, and you are so much more than your sun sign. All Geminis are not the same. They're different. It's like they all have similarities but different. There are so many different layers to astrology. That's the same as for each individual Gemini, and in order for you to get a really personal understanding of your personality, we'll definitely have to look at your whole chart. But this is Gemini as an overview, okay? So if it resonates with you, then great. For those of you like, oh, that's not me, okay, you may have something else going on. You know, there's different aspects and different conjunctions, and this again is just an overview, and your sun sign is just a sketch of your personality. It's not you completely, okay? All right, let's go ahead. Most Gemini people, like when you meet them, it's like they're just like talkative, very talkative, and they always got something to say. They're usually very fun-loving people. They like to have a good time, you know. This is a pleasurable sign. Like they like to drink, and they probably, if they drink alcohol or something, they probably drink lots of alcohol. You go to their house, they probably have tons of alcohol in their house. Some of these people can actually be semi-alcoholics, but not necessarily, because it seems to to me, most Gemini people, they tend to be able to hold their liquor pretty well, you know. And even if you have your Gemini, even if Venus is in Gemini in your birth chart, this also can resonate with you, as well as Mars in Gemini, because those are two, like, these are personal planets that are very important. So yeah, these people are usually very difficult to pin down in relationships. A lot of times it's like they're air. Air doesn't like to be confined. Air likes to be free, you know. Like when you trap air, like, hello, is going to eventually explode and creating all kinds of chaos. So even if you do pin down a Gemini, you definitely want to make sure there's some type of freedom within the relationship, because that's what they like, you know. They are people, like when they are in relationships, they like for you to do different things. Like they bore easily, and they don't like to do the same thing. So you have to keep it somewhat exciting for these people. Gemini is one of the first 6 signs where this is all about self and development. So they're constantly wanting to learn something new. They're very curious people, and they always want to learn and to do different things. A lot of times in sex, a lot of Geminis are prone to bisexuality, and the reason why I say, like, a lot of Geminis, like, again, you know, other things has to be factored into your chart. Not saying that you are bisexual, just saying that this is one of the signs that probably would not be against it, or probably think about it constantly. And the reason why I say that is because, again, Gemini is represented by the twins, and the twins are not identical. I'm sorry, but they're not. They are different. They are fraternal, and sometimes you get girl, sometimes you get a girl and a boy, and which one you fall into, okay, you will have to be the one to determine that. But fraternal twins for Geminis, if you have a boy and you have a girl, and then you have yourself, these twins represent your personality, and you're only one gender. So in the real world, you know, you can kind of like want to satisfy both of the twins, you know. So sometimes you may actually experiment with the opposite gender as well as the same gender for some of you, you know, and that's not a issue or anything, but it's just something that Geminis will probably look into, especially, I would say, especially Gemini rising people, you know. But and Gemini Venus having a very strong placement in Gemini, like an 8th house Gemini, definitely, because the 8th house kind of like rules the way we love, and as well as Venus rules the way we love. So people with their Venus in Gemini as well as their rising in Gemini, these are strong placements, and they definitely or probably experiment some bisexual activities in their lifetime. So they just cannot be bored in sex. They gotta have a good time. They like to they're curious about everything, and like their polar opposite sign, Sagittarius, the explorer, these are the ones right here where they are the communicators, and they like to talk about things. They like to learn about things also, just like Sagittarius, but in a different way, where Sagittarius like to explore, like travel, and just really do like touching and just really exploring this whole big entire world. Gemini not only want to explore it, but it wants to communicate about it. It wants to talk about it. It wants it to be, they actually want to engage in it as well. So yeah, Gemini is a lot of time with their, oh God, when you're having a conversation with a Gemini, sometimes you can meet these very, very talkative Geminis. Not all Geminis talk a lot outside of their mouth, you know. They're like there's some quiet Geminis, but the very talkative Geminis, a lot of times you enjoy their company because, you know, like they're like da 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 da, you know, just talking, and you never get bored with them. But the only problem is sometimes you may not be able to get a word in. Every once in a while, yeah, you can, but they just always talking. But then they can be talking to you like all cool and chilled and everything, and then the next minute it's like they're like lost in their thoughts, in their head or something, and you're like, what's going on? And it's like the conversation can just die out, and you're standing there waiting for the excitement to come back, and it's like just dead. But that's because it's like this dual activity that goes on in Gemini's head. You know, it's just one moment they're good, like just up high and they're doing great and everything is lovely, and then the next moment they're in their head. They think a lot. They think a lot. And so things are like the quiet Geminis. Like quiet Geminis, oh, they think a lot. It's like they probably deal with a nervous condition at some point in time in their life. Because, you know, Mercury rules Gemini as well as Virgo, and these people tend to have nervous type energy, and a lot of times if they don't talk a lot, I can guarantee you that inside of their head there's so much going on inside of their head that is frustrating for them. It's very frustrating for them, and sometimes they can kind of like be like, like I'm getting a headache, I'm stressed, I'm just irritated, you know, because they can't get it out. They have a lot of ideas. These people are very talented. They're very, very intelligent people, and they're usually really good at math, you know, or just dealing with problem solving. They're usually really good because Mercury is just a very intelligent planet, and they know how to break things down, and they do things in a technical way. Like any situation for Geminis, they usually handle it in a technical type way, you know, where they're going to find out exactly how it works, and then they're gonna create a formula to make it better. So Geminis are really smart people, and they usually catch on really fast. And these are the type of people who can be having a conversation with you and writing a term paper at the same time, and they're gonna get an A on that term paper, and you're not gonna feel like they were ignoring you. Yeah, that's that dual activity. And very, very strong Gemini placements, they really can do this, and they can be very successful at doing this. Okay, a lot of the Gemini women, a lot of times in relationships, a lot of times they usually settle for less than what they are worth a lot of times, because sometimes, again, Geminis can be a little bit on the shallow side, just a little bit, not necessarily, but they can be a little shallow and wanting exactly what it is that they want, because they are kids, you know, they're like the toddlers of the Zodiac. So they're still kids, and they still want what they want. Instead of them using logic, you know, like a Capricorn would, they would just get into a relationship because it looks pretty, or this person is pretty, or this person is handsome and gorgeous and have the pretty clothes, or, you know, the pretty car, the pretty things, and they're attracted to things like really nice things. So therefore, sometimes they will end up looking a little bit shallow, getting with people who don't always value their worth. So a lot of Gemini women, a lot of times they will just kind of like be single, or if they are in a marriage, a lot of times they are in a marriage with someone who at some point in time don't always appreciate them, and they deal with a lot of cheating in their marriage. And not it don't always have to be their husband, it can actually be the Gemini person herself, you know. Same as for Gemini guys. Gemini men, a lot of times they are the cheaters in the relationships, not because they are horrible people. They're really good providers and things of that nature. It's just that they bore easily, and it's not that they don't love their significant other or their wife. It's just that they need variety. Variety is very important to these people. Now, of course, if you have some strong Capricorn or Virgo traits in Virgo placements in your chart, then this is not, it will kind of like calm it down a lot. But in all actuality, super Geminis, no, they're very hard to be pleased. It can be done, but it's very difficult. That is why Geminis usually are very compatible with Aries. Aries people and Geminis usually, they can usually last, you know, stand the test of times, and they can usually last longer in a relationship. Also, Geminis a lot of times with a Pisces, maybe Pisces with Geminis, to me are pretty good as well, because they kind of like get this nice little understanding. Water and air, they have a nice little understanding of each other. Also Scorpio, for me, these are my analysis, you guys, from my experience and from me. I study people and I study their behavior as well as astrology. And so these are my ideas. A lot of people may disagree, but for me, yeah, Pisces, Scorpio, as well as Aquarius. Aquarius is also good with Gemini. Those are two, because, you know, Aquarius are the type of people, they're just kind of like go with the flow. They kind of have this little detached thing going on in a relationship, where they can be kind of open in a relationship and they can deal with a lot of different things, and that way these two can thrive. So where Gemini is bored and they talk to their Aquarius mate, then they're like, okay, cool, let's do this, let's try this. They're not afraid to try anything. Aries, not afraid to try anything. They're adventurous, you know, they want to have a good time. They bore easily also, so they definitely want to keep it exciting. So they both have a common ground. Therefore, the relationship with these signs can definitely flourish and last and be something amazing. Okay, Geminis at the workplace, a lot of times Geminis, like, they're gonna usually get extra responsibilities. Like, somehow, some way, these people usually find themselves taking on extra responsibilities. A lot of times they climb the corporate ladder, you know, because people like management, you know, or higher ups, they definitely notice that, okay, wow, you know, they do a really good job and they're constantly going above and beyond. So yeah, I like their work ethic. So these people usually are very successful in their jobs. You know, they have these Geminis who are, you know, kind of laid back. They don't really step out, but of course they probably have, you know, a moon, a very comfortable moon, like where they don't really want to move too much, you know, or they have a rising that's, you know, this is not really all about working and things of that nature. But as long as they have good placements, like let's just say Gemini air sign sun, and they have like an Aries rising, maybe a Capricorn moon or something like this, these people are usually pretty damn successful, really successful. And yeah, because they got the air, where they got Gemini with this intelligence, they got Aries with the independence and that movement, that action. Aries take action. Gemini got the talent, the intellect. Aries is going to move on that intelligence and use it. Capricorn has logic. They're gonna, I mean, Capricorn is gonna strategize all of this together. And first of all, yeah, and Gemini is gonna, you know, get that intelligence there and make sure everything is perfectly aligned like it's supposed to be. And then guess what? Aries gonna take action and make this shit happen. Okay, so yeah, definitely, you know, so definitely check your chart and see where you're rising in your moon and different things of that nature, because this is just a general overview. Again, I cannot stress that enough, because yeah, also like Geminis with their children, a lot of times Geminis are usually pretty good parents if they have a very like a Taurus rising, or something like a Taurus rising, like a earth sign, Taurus or Virgo, Capricorn rising. A lot of times they can be very, very strict with their children, and be very, you know, structured, and sometimes, you know, just what is it, I can't even think of the word, but they're very, very routine, and they're very demanding. You know, they're the type of, they're disciplinarians, you know, where they can be a little tough on their kids. But if they have like a Aries, Leo, Sagittarius type rising, then they'll probably be the type of parent where they're just kind of like that fun parent, where they have lots of fun with their children, really enjoying their children, just really, you know, just having a good time with them, and they will act more like a kid. You know, they'll be more like their siblings opposed to them being their parent or their kids or something of that nature. Also, if you have like Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini rising, then these people will be the type of parent where they just talk to their children all the time. Like every time the kids probably get tired of hearing them talk so much. And you know, like they do something wrong, it's just gonna be constantly talking to them, talking. And they're like, oh, mom, oh, dad, golly, I got it. I don't want to hear it anymore, you know? Those type of parents. So it all depends on your rising. So yeah, Geminis are usually, I mean, I really like Gemini people. I usually get along with them pretty well, but sometimes Geminis can become irritants. They can irritate the hell out of you. I'm not gonna say that Gemini people are crazy, but some of them are very crazy, and I can relate to Gemini very well, so please don't take this personally. I have a Sagittarius MC and I have a Gemini IC, so of course with me having Gemini IC, I'm the type of person, I spent my whole childhood basically talking to myself, and I do it now sometimes. It doesn't mean that you're crazy, it doesn't mean that I'm crazy, it just means that I have a lot to say, and I like to say it to me because I like to hear myself talk in all actuality. But again, Gemini people, a lot of times people will kind of like categorize them as being crazy, very moody and up and down, and a lot of people don't really like Geminis. You know, like Geminis are somewhat like one of the most disliked signs of like all zodiacs, but it's like people don't know how to case them. They don't know how to categorize them. It's very hard to just say, oh, Gemini is like this, Gemini whatever. No, because they're so changeable. They're constantly changing, constantly changing, and they're very moody, and you just don't know what you're gonna get. And they're good people when it comes to like sharing and wanting to give things, you know. They are good-hearted people, but they're quick, you know. They're just quick to act on anything, like a situation. They're quick to anger also. They're quick to give. They're quick to, you know, betray somebody. You know, a lot of times they are, unless they have strong placements of Earth somewhere in their chart, like in their personal planets. But otherwise, they're like quick to do things to hurt others, not intentionally, but this just seems to be the way things play out for Gemini. They usually end up at some point in time in their life creating some type of betrayal towards someone that's always been good to them. But my time is running out, you guys. Hey, you guys, my camera just literally died on me. So I'm thinking, I'm learning that I can only do maybe 20 minutes on these videos. I really like to go more in depth with these videos, but of course my camera doesn't let me record as long. It takes forever to upload onto YouTube. But again, Geminis are just the type of people, I have some notes here, you guys, make sure I get everything. They're just like the type of people that can multitask better than any other sign that I know. These people, this dual activity is crazy. They're kind of like Scorpio. Scorpio has dual activity also, and it's like these people just can do multiple things at once, and neither project feels neglected. They can just really do a great job, you know. Yeah, I mean, these people can be, you know, somewhat impatient, and especially with others. A lot of times Geminis will be the type, if they're in management or something, they will hurry up and get rid of a person rather than working with them, because a lot of times they feel like, because I can do this, I know that if I wanted to do this, I would just go ahead and do it quick, fast, and get it over with. But they have to learn. Gemini, you have to learn. Everybody is not as quick as you. They're not the same as you. They don't learn at the same speed of you. You have Mercury there. You know, other people may have Saturn there. They may be slow moving, you know, so you definitely have to take that into consideration. But it's very difficult for them to take that into consideration because they know how they are, and that's the only thing that they can go by. But yeah, so Geminis, a lot of times they create storms for themselves, and they have to find a way to climb their way out of it. And they're very good talkers, and usually they can talk their way through anything. But at some point in time, even these amazing communicators will not be able to communicate themselves out of some difficult situations. So it's best to not even create them. So yeah, Geminis, go ahead and you know, work on, you know, just really, you know, trying to be a very loyal friend, trying to be a loyal lover, you know, and just trying to just really you know, be honest. I wouldn't say that Geminis are liars, but they can tell lies, just like any zodiac sign. But Geminis, a lot of times, they are the type to sometimes tell lies, or they will present their lives to be something that they're not. You know, sometimes they pretend a lot. They're like pretenders, great pretenders. Even if things are not going great in their life, they will pretend it's awesome. But in all actuality, it's not. But and that is good to a certain extent, but it can be unhealthy. And when Gemini, when you feel like it's becoming too much and overwhelming for you inside of you, that's when you know you have to do something. Because people on the outside, yeah, they may be like, you may have them fooled, but you yourself, you want to make sure you're healthy and making sure that you're taking care of yourself like you need to. Because again, Gemini has nervous energy, so at some point in time, these people can have nervous breakdowns or have some type of chemical imbalance going on. Also, Gemini rules the arms and the hands, so a lot of Geminis, they may deal with problems with their arms or their hands, you know, like later on in life, maybe arthritis, or maybe, you know, when you meet a Gemini, they may have their whole arm tattooed or something. It's gonna be something significant about the arms and the hands of the Gemini. And these people are very youthful. These people look young forever. Now let me tell you, now Gemini's sons, a lot of times, they're not, all Gemini sons do not look young forever. You know, a lot of them sometimes can look older because it depends on your rising. Now, Gemini rising people, they tend to have this youthfulness about them for the rest of their life because this is their first house. This is the house of self, the house of appearance, you know, and things of that nature. So yeah, Geminis who have Gemini rising people, they usually look young, or they have something very, very youthful about them throughout their whole entire lives. Also with Gemini sun, they have something youthful about them also, but I've seen some Gemini sons who actually look older than their age to a certain extent. But Gemini rising, they always seem to be much younger, and they're like the forever kids, okay? But yeah, Geminis, take care of your arms, your hands. Also, you may see a Gemini who may be like kind of like overweight to a certain extent, but their arms, they still kind of like look small and just really nice looking arms, or it could be vice versa. It's something about Gemini's arms and hands, maybe the movement of them. If you pay attention to their hands, they may have an awkward movement with their hands, their arms, the way they do things. It's something about those damn arms and hands of Gemini. In the bedroom. Oh my God. How could I forget this part? Like, this is like the best part, really. Like, Gemini people, wow. Now this is like, oh, Geminis love to like go for it, and they love having sex, and like sex is very important to these people. That's why they love variety. So they are the type of people, again, they like to explore. They're very curious. So there's nothing off limits with these people in the bedroom. These people are the type, I would say that these are the freaks of the zodiac, not Scorpio. Scorpios are freaky to a certain extent, but Geminis are very freaky. Geminis are really freaky. They are the ones who you will probably see in some S&M type stuff going on, S&M type shit, you know, or, you know, like dominatrix and all of this type stuff. Like, these are the ones who will try anything. And when I say anything, wherever your imagination take you, that's probably what goes on with these people. And please don't let them have a Scorpio moon, a Gemini sun, Scorpio moon, and a Aries rising. These people, oh my God, yeah, they probably will be some of the like porn stars, you know, like people who just don't care. They don't give a fuck. Whatever feels good. It doesn't matter if you're a boy or girl. It don't matter. Whatever feels good to these people, that's what they're going to do. And nothing's going to stop them. They don't care what you think about them. All they care about is satisfying the twins. And I can promise you, the twins will be satisfied even if you're not, okay? So until next time, I wish you guys much love, peace, and many wonderful, wonderful, wonderful blessings. Bye.